Advantages of the object orientation approach. The first is that we define as a realistic modeling, which is used to model the real world. For creating a application, for designing a application, we have to gather the information. Like if you want to prepare any kind of like chicken, okay, so when you want to prepare for a chicken, first you have to collect the ingredients. First you buy the chicken, buy different masalas that is required. Okay, so based after collecting all the ingredients, then you plan to cook the chicken. Similar way, in the software development part, it is not like that. When you assign a project, you directly go and just develop the program. First you have to analyze the customer requirement. What is the requirement of the customer? So based upon the requirement, you collect the information, then you deliver that thing to the customer. Realistic modeling is just like that. It used to model the real world application. That means in this phase we gather the information. Next part is reusability. It allows to reuse the existing class or object. So when you purchase the mobile phone, you add the screen guard, you add the back cover. So by adding the screen guard and back cover, your mobile phone version has not changed. It is in the same platform. But by adding the screen guard and the back cover, it look and feel becomes better. Sometimes you have software and that software is not properly working. So the developer team develop some kind of additional feature, then add it. Then after that, it is working properly. The reusability concept is just like that. If you have a software, then you add some kind of functionality on the existing software and you have to create another version. If you take an example like Windows 7 operating system, when Windows 7 operating system coming to the market, it comes in the form of Windows Basic. Then we are adding some kind of new functionality. So by adding the new functionality, it is converted to the Windows Professional, okay, Basic to Professional, Ultimate. That means we are in the same platform, but we move to the another platform or another version by using of some kind of additional feature. So that you can say it is called as a reusability. It allows to reuse the existing class. Modularity, it allow the object to be maintained independent of each other. When you assign a tags for creating an application for a bank, so the bank is having a different model like loan account, saving account, RD account. So it is not possible for a single developer. They have to develop the entire part. So this entire part is divided into a smaller chunks or smaller module. And each individual module is handled independently. Then they gather in a main module. So modularity allows the object to be independent of each other. Flexibility to change. It allows to create a new class, and new class can add the feature of an existing class. It means you are adding the new feature and the existing class and create a new one. So by adding the new feature, you can convert Windows 7 operating system to the Windows 8. You can say it is called the flexibility to change. Means we add the feature and we move to the next part. The new class can add the feature on the existing class. It is another type of advantages. Most important thing is what? Information hiding. It allows the programmer to limit the access to information. Like when you are uploading a photo in Facebook, some photo you make it as public. Some photo you are sharing with your friends. Those are in the list. And some photo you are uploaded and you are not posted it publicly or friends. You make it as private. So private means it is only visible in your end. So information hiding is just like that. It allows the programmer to limit the access to information. Understood? Priyadarshini, Sumesh, Amit.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This information hiding is implemented by the concept of abstraction and encapsulation. Abstraction means showing the relevant information. Encapsulation means hiding the information which is not required. Abstraction means showing the relevant information. And encapsulation means you have to hide the information from the user. So both abstraction and encapsulation is working together. So it is the first part of OOPS. Then now I move to the second part. So how can I identify the relationship between the classes? Identify the relationship between the classes. How you have to identify it? Let us understand how you can identify the relationship between the classes. the class and object are related to each other. From the behavior, you can understand what is the relationship between the two person. Like when we talk with our mother, we become casual. When we talk with our father, we give some kind of word respect way we talking. When you talk with your friend, we are become more casual. So depending upon the person, our behavior is also dependent. So from the conversation we can know that, or we can assume that what is the relationship between the two people. So in a object orientation program, class and object are related to each other, and you can find out the relationship between the object and class. So what are the different kind of relationship are present? So there are four type of relationship are present. One is composition, generalization, next is utilization, and instantiation relationship. So let's move to the composition relationship. Composition relationship, a object include another object as its part. You can say it contain a has a relationship. Means your car contain engine, so it is called as the has a relationship. Car contain engine. If you move the engine from the car, then body of the car is not required. And if engine is present and you take out the car body, then engine is not workable. If you combine both, then it is working. So composition relationship is just like that. It include another object as its part, or it is called as a has a relationship. Generalization relationship, class inherit commonly used state and behavior from other class. Each class allowed to inherit from one or multiple classes. It means we upgrade one operating system to the another operating system. If you take an example, conversion of Windows 7 to 8, 8 to 10. So this kind of relationship is called as a generalization relationship. Means in every part, we are linked up with the previous part. Like Windows 10, it doesn't mean Windows 10 is completely new. It contains some kind of design or feature that is present in the Windows 8. Similar way, when Windows 8 has come, it contains some kind of functionality of the Windows 7. That means, see that when in the window is coming to the market, it comes in the window 92. So from the 92 to window 10, imagine what are the features are there now. Previously we were working in the CMD, command prompt. It is not supported any kind of graphic user interface. So that doesn't mean when you coming from 92 to 2010, all the features are changed. Some old feature is there, but based upon the requirement, some new feature is also added. So that it's saying each class allowed to inherit from one or multiple class. From one class, you can inherit from multiple classes. So from where it is derived, so that is called a superclass. Means you can say between Windows 7 to the Windows 10, Windows 7 is called as a superclass. Subclass is a specialized form of superclass. It means subclass copy the member from the superclass, and it also contain the functionality of its own, so that it is called as a subclass or specialized class. Superclass is called as a generalized class. Generalization helps to create a program that can be customized in accordance with the new requirement. Generalization helps to create a program that can be customized in accordance with the new requirement. So based upon the new requirement, you add the feature. बुझेला प्रियदर्शिनी सुमेश अमित
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
okay. Next call as utilization relationship. Class uses another class is called as a utilization relationship. Means see that driver, they belong to one class. Four-wheeler, they belong to one class. In the four-wheeler, your Bolero is there, your bus is there. So a driver can drive the Bolero and bus. So here, one class is utilizing to the another class for working or for surviving. So this type of relationship is called as the utilization relationship. Instantiation relationship. The class and relationship between the class. That means in a family, in your family, you all member is called as instance of your family. So that is called instantiation relationship. The relationship between a class and instance of class. Like you can say, like in a mammal class, this dog, this cat and human are called as the instance of class. Okay, so these are all relationship between the classes. Any doubt?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So now I move to the program how you have to define a class in Python. Okay, so for defining a class in Python, then class keyword is used. So like I define class demo class x equals to 10. You can say it is called as this is called as the member of class. Then how you have to call the class? For calling a class, you need to create an object of class. Like P1 demo class P1 dot x. See that? So class is a keyword for defining a class. X equals to 10 is called as the member of the class. Then this line is saying that creating object of class. This one is called as the creating object of class, and through this object we call the member. The next is how you have to create a function. Class function. Suppose name is equals to Amit. Then we define a function def your name is for calling Amit. Then first you have to create an object. Suppose p1 equals to class fun p1 dot
ସେଟା printf ଲେଖା ହବ ନା print ଲେଖା ହବ? printf ଲେଖା ହବ ନା print ଲେଖା ହବ?
print is there.
ସେ ଯୋଉ ଲାଷ୍ଟ ଲାଇନ p1 ଡଟ୍ ମାଇ ଟ୍ୟୁନିକ ଲେଖା ହେଇଛି ସେଇଟା କଣ ଇ ଟା ଏକ୍ସଟ୍ରା ଅଛି ନା
ଏ ଫଙ୍କସନ ଟାକୁ କଲ୍ କରାହେଲା ପରା।
ଓହୋ
ତାର ସେମିକୋଲନ୍ ଦିଆ ହେଇଛି।
Okay, your name is Amit. ସେଠି ଫାଷ୍ଟ ଆମେ କ୍ଲାସ ର ଅବଜେକ୍ଟ ବନେଇଲେ, ଏ ଅବଜେକ୍ଟ ଥ୍ରୋ ରେ ଆମେ ଫଙ୍କସନ ଟାକୁ କଲ୍ କଲେ my fun ଫଙ୍କସନ ଟାକୁ କଲ୍ କଲେ ଆମେ ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ନେମ ଟା ପାସ୍ କରିଛେ ଅମିତ, ସେଠି ଅମିତ ଶୋ କରେ, your name is Amit. Okay, so it is a way of creating the class function. ବୁଝିପାରିଲ?
ସେଇଠି ଯେ ଆର୍ଗୁମେଣ୍ଟ ସେଲ୍ଫ ପାସ୍ କରାରା କଣ ପାଇଁ?
କୋଉଟା?
जो सेल्फ पास कराइছে आर्गुमेंट से सेल्फ
क्लास ଭିତରେ ଆମେ ଯୋଉ ଫଙ୍କସନ डिफाइन କରିବା ତାକୁ ଆମେ ଖାଲି ଛାଡି ପାରିବା ନାହିଁ। ତ ବାଇ डिफॉल्ट हमको एठी सेल्फ पैरामीटर यूज କରିବାକୁ ପଡିବ। बुझिला? तो फंक्शन should not be blank।
का को बुझौची ने
कौन कहला?
से जदी सेल्फ पैरामीटर टा यूज करले एटा सारा कोठी इंडिकेट करछ माने को फंक्शन को नोच
क्लास मेंबर को माने क्लास मेंबर्स को रिप्रेजेंट करबा पई हेले हमें सेल्फ टा यूज करियो। बुझिला?
यस सर
The self represent what? It is a keyword access the attribute and method. Attribute means हमें variable को retrieve करी परिवा, method को भी retrieve करी परिवा। लिखा है एडी लिखी परिवा।
सर विदाउट क्लास वन फंक्शन डिफाइन कर परिया नहीं
हाँ करथिले using self we can access the okay, we can retrieve the attribute and method of a class. बुझेला प्रोग्राम टा? बुझेला? प्रियदर्शिनी, सोमेश, अमित।
हाँ सर।
Yes, sir.
यस सर
Okay, so it is the way of creating class, creating object of class through the object, how you have to call the function. So in next class I will go for the inheritance polymorphism constructor. Okay, first is constructor, then inheritance and polymorphism. Okay, so tomorrow I will share the time. Tomorrow also we connect. Chalo, bye.